A girl, 29F, that I, 30M, have been seeing for a while went on a date with another man. So I have been dating this girl, call her Nora, for the last month and a half. Sorry for the clickbait title, it's not quite the problem. We seem to click quite well from the start. We have very open and frank conversations about how things are going, what we want, etc. The sexual chemistry is good, she claims among the best she's had. I've appeared in her Instagram stories. I have met many of her friends and been invited to a regular weekly event they do. She has met most of mine by this point. We've seen each other maybe 9–10 times in that time span, 2 of which are the regular weekly event, so not really a date. I was considering asking her in the next couple weeks if she would go exclusive with me. There are a few things that aren't ideal. Nora is quite busy between work and extracurriculars. It doesn't leave much time on the weekdays to see her. On top of that, we live a solid 20–40 minutes drive away depending on the time of day. We set some boundaries from the start that it was okay from the start to see other people until we had the exclusivity talk. That said, I told her straight up I'm only going to see one person at a time, something I am trying out, and she promised to let me know if I ever wasn't her strongest connection or didn't think it would work out. Today, Nora went on date with someone else. I realized this when she told me she was doing something impossible and then went dark for 3 hours around 6–9 p.m. I asked her if she was on a date earlier and told her it was okay if she was, she hadn't done anything wrong based on our boundaries, and she said yes, and they didn't really have a spark, i.e. it was a first date. Our text chain went something like this. I told her that I was considering asking her to date exclusively, not BF, GF. Just only dating each other. And that now I was worried she wasn't on the same page as me if she was still going on first dates. She asked if I could give her to the end of June before becoming exclusive. The specific-ness of this time made me concerned that maybe there is some other man, FWB, in the picture. I asked why so specific, and she said because she thinks it would be long enough to decide if we can just skip straight to boyfriend, girlfriend, or if it wasn't going to work out. I told her that my concern with how things are going is that it's harder and harder to see her because of how busy she is. I have previously expressed that I would like to see her more frequently. While she didn't do anything wrong morally, given how long we've seen each other and the rarity of her free weekday evenings, it's a bit frustrating that she would use it on a first date over me, especially when I will be away this weekend and most of next week. We are only really seeing each other once a week, and my hope is that if we go exclusive that we can see each other more frequently and thus get to the bottom if we want to become a couple much faster. At our current rate, with me being away the next 2 weeks for one-off things, I might only see her around 3–4 more times in that time frame anyway, which probably isn't enough to decide anything. It's really just dragging things out. She answered, fair, to these points and then said, how about at the end of May we go exclusive? I asked if we could talk about it in person on our next date and she agreed. My requests for advice below are largely to help prepare myself and organize thoughts mentally before I see her again. If you had been seeing someone you felt strongly about for a month and a half, would you consider going on a first date with someone else at this point? Do you think she's just not as into me as I am her, or is that an overreaction? If I agree to a set timeline like this to become exclusive, am I essentially making an ultimatum here and setting myself up for failure? As in, am I forcing her to make decisions about me quicker than she may be ready? Would it be smarter to leave it open? Is it weird she is giving me timeframes like that? Wouldn't it make more sense to just say, I am not ready for that yet? Should I ask her if there is some third reason she isn't telling me that could be present? Any other thoughts? I'm kind of getting into my own head a bit. She obviously isn't into you as much as you are into her. Simple as that. Count your blessings and dip while you still have some dignity left. Doesn't it suck waiting to see if you are her first option, while she definitely is yours? She has had plenty of time to get to know you and what you offer, but is still checking out the options. I know you have agreed to this, but it doesn't make it less painful for you. To be honest, this seems overly complicated. How can you be exclusive but not BF, GF? You yourself are giving her all the time and room in the world to seek out other guys. Even if she feels something for you, you're simply not being proactive or assertive in your feelings, either in your post or with her. Decide what you want. Stop trying to fudge or skirt around what a relationship is. Have one or don't and let her know. I'll never understand why people agree to be non-exclusive even at the start. You can't be that great in her opinion, if she's looking for greener grass. I advise moving on. Something I've not seen noted in the comments is this person is busy enough that she can only make time for you once a week, and she's still insistent enough on dating around that she's insisting on a specific grace period before she stops? It sounds like she is sort of into you, but also has a specific someone else she is into and is actively seeing, and is using this to set herself a deadline to make a decision. Personally, someone struggling to make time for me and wanting to actively see other people would really bother me, even if it's a situation where one or the other by itself would not. She might be a cautious person and doesn't like to rush anything, so she sets timetables. If she has that kind of personality, then this makes sense. I wouldn't push her though. That back and forth you just posted seemed exhausting. Just flat out tell her that you're very interested in being exclusive, and when, if she feels the same, to let you know. I think my mom has been physical with my BF. How can I go about this the best way? F22, M22, F40. Me, F22, my BF, M22, and my mom, F40. For some context, my mom is single. She hasn't had a long-term relationship since my dad and they divorced when I was 8 yo. My mom has a history of being unfaithful, that's why her and my dad got a divorce. My mom brings home younger and immature guys throughout my life. My mom is always going through a midlife crisis. She hasn't really ever been a mom to me, she's been more of a friend or roommate to me than a mother. My mom just doesn't know how to grow up, she acts like she's 21 yo still. She wears crop tops and she smokes weed in her car with random guys she hooks up with on Tinder. My friends and my boyfriend will hang out at my house and my mom would just join us and start taking shots with us. I've been together with my boyfriend for 8 months. I know everyone's gonna say that we've not been dating for a long, so I should not be that invested and just leave him and all that, but it's deeper than that. We've been best friends for longer than we were partners, we've been in each other's lives longer than 8 months. We love each other. So I have trust for my boyfriend, but I don't trust my mom. But at the same time, my boyfriend has cheated his past relationship, but that was when he was 16 yo. My mom has openly flirted with him in front of my face. She would make comments about his dick print sticking out. She would say this in front of him. She said, "Wow, Peyton's packing, huh?" and then look down at his pants. A lot of these comments and actions she would do when she's either drunk or high. She has touched his chest when she was laughing at something he said. She also always makes an effort on how she looks when my boyfriend is around, like she will have a full face of makeup on and skimpy clothes. My mom sometimes even texts my boyfriend and has conversations with him. My mom sometimes texts him and sends him winky face emojis. For example, she texted him recently and sent him a picture of an apron on Amazon and texted, "You look better in this, I was thinking of getting you these for your birthday, winking face, yummy face." His birthday is in 9 days. She doesn't text him a lot. That was her first text to him since like 3 months ago, when she texted him about arriving to the auto shop to pick him up cuz his car was in the shop. My mom is embarrassing and cringe and needs to act her age. I'm pretty sure she has made a move on my BF. I wouldn't be surprised because I've stupidly left them alone sometimes while I went out of the house to run errands. And when I come back it's like this weird awkward silence. I did leave them alone together just last week for about 1 hour and 30 minutes and my boyfriend has just been acting weird since then, and I have this weird feeling in my gut that they might have at least kissed. I don't know how to bring this up with my mom or my boyfriend, as this is such an awkward and weird situation. I'm not a confrontational person and I still live with my mom. Even if I ask my boyfriend or mom if something happened, they aren't going to admit it and come clean unless if I have hardcore proof. I want to go through either my mom's phone or my BF's phone. I know both their passwords. I honestly rather just find out so I can just start the healing process and not just left wondering. Update. Checked my BF's phone, he cheated on me with my mom. They had sex multiple times. These messages hurt reading. From the messages I read, they don't have any feelings for each other, but they said cheating was hot, and made it fun to do it because it was doing it behind my back. They send each other nudes too. I took the advice being asked him if she pressured him, and he broke out in a laugh and said, "You know I'm a guy? I can't get raped, I'm a grown-ass man, not a child where it's possible to get raped." I broke up with him. I still live with my mom. And for the people asking, no, I can't move out of my mom's. I have no money of my own and I don't have anywhere else to go, but I'm working on it. Just ask him in a non-accusatory way. I know my mom is inappropriate when I am around. Does it get worse when I leave? I just noticed things were a little off when I got back the other day, also. Why is he staying at home and not coming with you? The only solid advice I have is to work on gaining 100% independence from your mom. Don't bring friends or any boyfriend over to her house anymore. Work on getting a job, or two, so you can get an apartment. Hell, rent a room somewhere. Snoop to find proof if you need closure on the romantic front. But the most important thing is getting away from the bad influence that is your mother. I feel like you should be talking to your boyfriend sooner rather than later. Your mother is the devil. No two ways about it. But she's sexually harassing your boyfriend. You're looking at it in terms of cheating or not when you should be protecting him. You say you leave them alone to run errands. That seems like you're testing him, like you want something to happen. What that reads to me is you're allowing your boyfriend's continued abuse at the hands of your mother. You need to cut your mother out of your life yesterday and talk to your boyfriend. He may really need you and feel like he can't talk to you. Your mom is a sexual predator, and I'm guessing the awkward silence when you come back is because you left your boyfriend alone with a sexual predator. Geez, the update is the worst. I'm so sorry op, can't imagine how much that hurts. I think what others suggested was true. Don't bring friends over, and if you do end up having another boyfriend before you move out, don't bring him over, for your own comfort. I'm not sure if this would be helpful, but it might be helpful to tell her how you feel about this, or if you feel like it's not the right call yet, either write it down or talk to some friends about how you're feeling. But I would really suggest telling her how much she sucks eventually. The wife, 28F, husband, 35M, ex-girlfriend, 33F, 3 is a crowd. Hello. My 28F husband, 35M, decided to take me on a date last Saturday. I was so excited because we haven't been on a date in 2 months. This is really all of my fault because I went into an extreme depression which caused severe social anxiety, due to lack of work. We sat at the table and I thought everything was going well. Out of nowhere, my husband brings up his ex, 33F, like fucking clockwork, to tell me about how she is reading the same enlightenment books as himself and she hasn't moved on to dating another man. Backstory: they chased each other, they weren't technically dating, for a year. She tried to sue my husband when him and I started to date. She threatened to kick my ass, shouted that he would never get a better woman than her, and told me my boyfriend was a broke ass. He didn't believe in spending money on women 7 years ago. I don't blame him with this girl. She was an absolute nightmare and I made sure that she disappeared from my boyfriend's, at the time, life. We won the lawsuit, he cried himself to sleep in my arms, and I thought we were done with her. Now, I don't think I reacted properly, but I kept all of my disappointment, rage, and pain inside, as best as I could. My retort was very quick and I asked if they were still talking. He responded that they are just friends on Instagram and they do not message. My second response was that they should be together if he is still hung up on her. I don't want to stand in the way of his happiness or his love, if that's what she is to him. I said this with nothing but love and I know there was slight pain. He tried a poor attempt of apologizing for tormenting me with talking about her. I'm just counting down the days until she is brought up again. I feel like I'm in a constant competition with her that I never even realized I was in until Saturday. He asked me to lose weight, grow my hair out, get a booty like her, and stop my strong woman attitude. It reminds him of her. I never put all of the puzzle pieces together. It's been 7 long, happy years for me, when she is not brought up or trying to get close to my husband. He is friends with her family and I am okay with that. I am not okay with her sister-in-law going behind my back to do video chats and invite him to family dinners with the ex. Of course, sister-in-law is sneaky and traps him in the situation. He isn't dumb enough to walk into a setup. I don't go because I work 90 hours a week. I am there every weekend with my husband. I am the traditional cook, clean, and always have sex wife. Why am I not good enough? Am I wasting my time being a rebound? I want to leave because I'm tired of crying this morning. TDLR. I, 28F. Feel like I'm in a losing battle with my husband's, 35M, ex-girlfriend, 33F. I think I want to leave this situation. It's been 7 long, happy years. How? He has been in a relationship with her all of this time, just physically with you. Of course, sister-in-law is sneaky and traps him in the situation. I'd have to disagree that she traps him. He fully well knows she's going to be there. I would never have married this guy, but since it's too late for that, time to divorce him and get into therapy. You're going to have to completely block him on everything so you don't see their posts when they become official. A man who compares you to his ex all the time? That's a hell no. I wouldn't sit around for it. Find someone who appreciates you and is a partner so you aren't working 90 hours a week and doing all the work at home. Why is he bringing her up after all this time if he still isn't at the very least emotionally connected to her? I feel so bad for you that you don't understand how weird your situation is. Your husband is full of dumbassery. Ask him for a divorce. Tell him you're no longer going to play the replacement partner when he'd hung up on his ex. Tell him it's clear as day he's still in love with her and not in love with you. And you done playing his silly games. My 30 female husband, 34 male, keeps sneaking out in the middle of the night. Throw away because my husband knows about my Reddit account. As the title says, my husband keeps sneaking out in the middle of the night. For basically as long as I can remember, I've gotten up at around 4 a.m. or so, to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. That's just how my body is. And lately when I do so I won't find my husband in bed, in fact I can't find him anywhere. He does have pretty bad insomnia. And sometimes on really bad nights I would find him in the living room watching TV or playing a video game. Also, it's not every night. It's maybe every other night that he is sneaking out. I'm trying not to let it bother me, but this has been going on for about a month now. And I'm starting to get really annoyed, worried about where he's going. And what he's doing at such weird hours of the night. It happened again the other night and I stayed up until he decided to come home at 6 a.m. Mind you, I don't know how long he was actually gone. Just that he hadn't been there from about 4 a.m. until then. I admit I was pretty cranky and annoyed when he got home and I asked him where he had been. He told me not to worry about it and, let's go back to sleep. I kept pushing and he said he just goes out for a walk. I wasn't satisfied with that answer, but the conversation kept going back to he just takes a walk to burn any extra energy or to clear his head when he can't sleep. So I decided to drop it, as I was pretty tired and had to be up in an hour, to go to work, anyway. Well, it happened again tonight, this morning. I got up to go to the bathroom and I couldn't find my husband anywhere. Again, I was really annoyed. And I stayed up to see when he would get home. It was 5:35. So that's an improvement at least. When he got home he looked so sleepy and climbed into bed. And without saying a word I got out and took my pillow and blanket and came to the couch, where I am now. I know it's petty to give him the silent treatment. But I'm frustrated and I just want to be by myself right now. I can hear him snoring, so I guess his walk worked. I'm not sure what to do now. I'm exhausted and I honestly just want to know the truth. Should I confront him? I'm not big on confrontation, but at the same time I really want to know what's going on. Too long did not read. My husband is sneaking out and says he is going on walks to clear his head. I'm not sure where to go from here. Info. Do you have any reason to believe he might be cheating? Can it be possible that he's walking because he needs to burn off some energy so he can go back to sleep? Did he take his car or not? If he didn't take his car keys, then yeah, I would assume that he has insomnia and went for a walk. I do that occasionally when the weather outside isn't colder than a penguin's butt crack on an ice floe. If he does this randomly 2-3 times a month, then I wouldn't think anything of it. One time I went over to the 24 Hours gas station and got some melatonin and Unisom. My significant other was irritated until I literally showed her the boxes. So I usually try to shake her shoulder and tell her where I'm going first. It's really bizarre. Did he try to see a doctor to find out what is going on? While there could very well be an innocent explanation, the fact he tried to keep this from you and is not very forthcoming with details is concerning. As a first step I would suggest you ask him to wake and let you know when he is leaving the house at night, and let you know when he returns so you feel less abandoned. After that, your level of trust will dictate how far you push, or snoop to find out what he's up to. I hope he isn't finding trouble. A lot will depend on whether he is taking the car or not. Is walking for hours something he does and is capable of, or is that out of character? Do you have other valid reasons to mistrust him? Does he have an iPhone? Ask him to turn on his tracking so you can make sure he's safe on his walks in the middle of the night.